Hello and welcome. In a world where pretty much everything we do is online, there's a constant invisible battle being fought for our information. Today, we're going to dive into why cybersecurity isn't just some tech buzzword. It's actually one of the most critical topics of our time. So, let's get into it.
Let me just start by asking you a simple question. How safe do you think your online life really is? Every time you click, every payment you make, every message you send, it all creates a digital footprint. But are we really aware of the shadows that can follow that footprint? Just look at this. This is basically the hidden battlefield of our daily lives. When you're ordering food, you're thinking about your meal, right? Not about data interception. When you pay a bill online, the last thing on your mind is that someone might be trying to steal your credentials. But this is the reality of our digital world. All that convenience comes with these invisible risks. And that brings us to our first major point. In this incredibly connected world, our personal information, our data, has become an unbelievably valuable target for criminals. The best way to think about it is this. Your data is the new gold. Yeah, that's right. Just like gold, it's super valuable, it can be bought and sold, and criminals will go to some serious lengths to steal it. Why? Because it holds the keys to your identity, your money, and your privacy. So, what really happens when this digital gold is stolen? The consequences aren't just some vague idea. They have a real, measurable financial impact. On companies, for sure, but ultimately on all of us.
According to the latest reports from IBM, the global average cost of just a single data breach has hit a mind-boggling $4.44 million. That's over 36 crore rupees for one incident. And this isn't just profit loss. It's the cost of investigations, fixing the systems, paying fines, and losing customer trust.
And look, this isn't some distant problem happening somewhere else. Let's bring it closer to home. Here in India, the average cost of a data breach is $2.51 million. That's over 20 crore rupees. This just shows you how significant the threat is, right here in our own backyard. Now, what's even more alarming to me is the time it takes to even notice something is wrong. On average, it takes 241 days, that's about 8 months, just to identify and contain a breach. Just imagine that. It's like a thief having access to your house for 8 months before you even realize they're there. It's crazy.
So, how do these breaches actually happen? You might be picturing some scene from a movie, right? A hacker in a dark room typing furiously. But often, the methods are surprisingly simple. They rely more on human psychology than on complicated code.
This whole process is called social engineering, and it's basically a confidence trick. First, the attackers do their homework on you or your company. Then, they build trust. Maybe they pretend to be from your bank or even your boss. Next, they manipulate you, often with a sense of urgency. And before you know it, you've handed over the keys to the kingdom.
And this really leads to a crucial point, which was highlighted perfectly in the analysis of the MailChimp breach. The technology can be amazing, the firewalls can be strong, but at the end of the day, we humans are often the weakest link.
Let's look at a real-world example. Big brands like Marks & Spencer got hit because attackers used a simple phishing attack. They just sent a fake email that looked totally legitimate to a company that worked with them. An employee clicked a link in that email, and that one tiny action opened the door to a massive breach. Or think about Uber. This one's wild. An 18-year-old hacker didn't break some complex code. No. He used a tactic called an MFA fatigue attack. He just kept spamming a contractor with those login approval notifications on his phone. You know the ones. He did it over and over until the guy, probably just annoyed, approved one to make them stop. And just like that, the hacker was in. It's not always about tricking people, though. Sometimes it's a simple technical mistake. In the Capital One breach, a firewall on their cloud system, which is basically a digital security gate, wasn't set up correctly. This one small oversight left a door wide open, and a hacker got access to over 100 million credit applications. So here's the most important point. When a huge company like Capital One or Uber gets breached, it's not just their problem. These attacks have very real, very direct consequences for every single one of us. So what exactly is at risk for you personally? Well, these breaches have exposed everything. We're talking about your full name and phone number, your email, your date of birth, your financial data, your private chats, and even your most sensitive medical records. This is the exact data that fuels identity theft and fraud on a massive scale. Okay, so with all these threats out there, what's our defense? Well, that defense is cybersecurity. And please, don't think of it as some complicated field only for tech geniuses. It's much simpler. It's our essential digital shield.
Let's define it really simply. Cybersecurity is just the practice of protecting our digital lives from being attacked or damaged. Think of it like this. If your data is the gold inside your house, cybersecurity is the lock in your door, the alarm system, and the security guard all rolled into one. It's that simple.
And why does this matter so much? At the end of the day, the purpose of cybersecurity is to protect you. It's there to guard your privacy, to ensure your financial and even physical safety, and, this is a big one, to maintain the trust we all need to use the digital services that our modern lives completely depend on.
Now let's talk about the most important part of the shield, and that's you. Because honestly, the first and most effective line of defense isn't a piece of software. It's an aware and cautious person.
If there's one thing you take away today, let it be this. Cybersecurity is not just a job for the IT department. It's not just for big companies. It has become a shared responsibility for every single one of us who uses the internet. We all have a part to play.
And the good news is, protecting yourself can start with some really simple steps. Use strong, different passwords for all your accounts. Always, and I mean always, enable MFA. Be suspicious of any email or message that tries to create a false sense of panic. Keep your software updated. And please, just think for a second before you click. These small habits can make a gigantic difference.
But just as we get better at defending ourselves, the attacks are getting smarter too. The next frontier is already here. Attackers are now using artificial intelligence to launch thousands of sophisticated attacks all at once. The scale is changing.
And this brings us to our final question for today. In a future where AI-powered hackers are battling AI-powered defenses, who do you think will win this cyber war? And more importantly, what will our role be in that fight? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.